a really accomplished crew. Take a look at their skill sets. Like, they're amazing to work with, I'm sure, because you've integrated and worked with a lot of these guys, right?
Yeah, what's really fun is that it is fun. I mean that everybody has a great attitude. Everybody looks out for each other and does what it takes to make it happen, and enjoy the process along the way. And it's really fun to be in the space program because we get as astronauts we get to be part of so many really excellent teams, and our pad team for sure is an excellent team.
And so we heard on the communication nets that teams are doing a weather brief right now. That weather brief has to be done prior to them deciding to close the hatch, right, Mike?
Yes, we need to make sure as part of our checks that everything is still good to go. Typically at this point the weather briefs are pretty short, just saying nothing changed or a small thing changed here or something really big changed. Let's talk about it more.
Yeah. The weather's beautiful from here, our perspective here at the host desk. No wind to speak of, which is a little stifling if I could be honest. It's a little hot, but again, those are not launch constraints at all. Just maybe Megan D and Mike constraints as the day goes on, but we'll be waiting on the official word from that weather brief here shortly. Again, the team in the white room, when they do get the go-ahead to close the hatch, kind of what are some of the things we'll be seeing, Mike? So obviously we said they cleared out Starliner, but here we're going to see them like removing some equipment and inspecting the seal, right?
Exactly. So you can see that there's this golden frame around the hatch, and that's to protect the hatch seals, right? Because we want the hatch to be able to stay closed and airtight. So they're going to take that hatch protection unit out of the way, and that takes a few moments, and then they're going to actually get I think ultraviolet lights and take very good look at the seals to make sure that they look good, and then they're going to close the hatch and then do a leak check. They'll put extra pressure inside the Starliner and see if any of it leaks out. It shouldn't, and then they'll depressurize the Starliner to have a regular normal atmospheric pressure of 14.7 pounds per square inch.
Yeah, and there they are removing the piece you were just talking about. Some of the ways that they'll inspect the seal, as you were talking about, yeah, they're going to use white light. They're going to clean with foam wipes to remove any debris, and then they use black light. Again, foam wipes to remove any debris. As I'm sure is not a surprise to anyone, again, another very detailed process to make sure that everything is done as is supposed to be done.
Well, speaking of a child of the 70s, a lot of us watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and Mr. Rogers would tell us to take our time to do it right. And that's what we're doing here.
You always perfectly have like the one-liners that sum up the situation. So again, guys, very lucky to have this guy here.
Yeah, Butch says the same thing about me. In fact, I think that's the only reason he kept me around is that I made him laugh now and then.
Aw. Now we've been asking for questions on social media, and you guys have been sending them in, so why don't we take some now? This one is Nikki Colby on X asking, can you describe the suits in depth to me as a blind person? Also, what does it look like inside the Starliner?
Wow.
Is 1 hour and 55 minutes.
Well, Nick,
ECS, Elsie.
ECS?
Adjust the ISA temperature to 145 degrees Fahrenheit.
Roger.
Well, Nikki, that's a great question. How do you describe a spacesuit? Well, it's made out of cloth and some puncture-resistant material. I think a lot of it's Nomex. And on the inside of this suit, and it's really it's all like almost one piece. There's a reason for that. Because it has to hold pressure, right? So it's kind of like a hoodie on top that the visor can float go over your head like a hood, and then you can zip it. And it's a one-piece overall that has long sleeves and long legs. And of course, it doesn't matter what color it is. Boeing chose the Boeing blue color for it. It has a few pockets on it. And at the bottom, it actually where the legs come out is actually a a rubber bladder that goes throughout the entire part of the spacesuit, and so our feet go inside there, and then our feet also they put boots on top of our feet, but we don't need the boots to remain pressurized. So all we need to do once we are inside of our suit is put on our gloves. There's a left glove and a right glove, obviously, and there's a small wrist ring that you have to kind of click the glove on and turn to the left or turn to the right to make sure it's locked, and then we put our hood on, right, our visor or helmet, and then we have to put our head back and zip it across, and then all of a sudden we're hermetically sealed inside of a spacesuit, and we can do our pressurized leak checks, and it can protect our lives. It's comfortable. It's very lightweight. I think Megan and Dee have the specs.
LTSYS someone.
Go ahead.
Step 200 L2 balloon cycle task is complete.
Roger.
I think we have the specs on the suits, but it's a very lightweight suit, especially compared to the suits that we've worn before. And when I moved from the shuttle program to go fly on the Soyuz, I was very impressed with the Soyuz suit. And these these suits built by David Clark are even lighter than the Soyuz suit because the Soyuz uses a helmet.
And then Nikki also asked about describing what it looks like in the Starliner. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh yes, Starliner. It's interesting. It is. I don't say full of cargo, but it's there's a lot of there's two seats near. If you look inside the hatch on the left-hand side, there's two seats. Butch sits the one on the farthest away, and then Sonny sits on the next one. There's two other seats that we're going